welcome to Her Success Unleashed. I am your host, Sharon T. Botley, and today's guest is phenomenal. I bring to you Michelle Richberg. She is the owner of Richburg Enterprises, and she is the trailblazing strategist and CEO with a 40-year legacy in the financial services industry. Michelle is recognized as being the money mastermind behind the biggest names in music. Michelle has transformed her financial management into entertainment industry, empowering high-profile clients to rely on her strategic wealth-building solutions. You're a big league, lady. Her journey has come from started with a stock processor in banking to senior vice president. She exemplifies a self-resilience and leadership role. In 2015, she founded Richburg Enterprises to help her client base where she could sustain them with wealth, information, maximize revenue streams, and safeguard their financial legacies. She's been a leadership in her community. She has accolades on her belt, and she took the bull by the horns to build her business. So I introduce to you today, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Michelle Richberg. Thank you for joining me today, Michelle. How are you, darling?
I'm good, Sharon T. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored and humbled.
It's my pleasure, my pleasure. Michelle and I worked together last year on a leadership conference, and so I met her and I began to see and hear her story, and I became fascinated because her resiliency. I come from a background in finance and economics, and her background is finance and wealth and banking. She started there and built her empire there, and she built it from a place of persistence, resilience, and she's going to share with us her story today on how she did that.
Wow, that's a lot to live up to. Well, I guess so. My story is had a lot of twists and turns, right? I guess I'll say, we've all had a bad day or two or three, but I don't know if you had a pink slip kind of a bad day. So as you mentioned, my entire career has been spent in financial services. I started working in a bank, actually chased my first bank when I was in high school. So I had worked in all of the positions in the retail bank, from check processor, as you mentioned, to teller supervisor, so on and so forth, and up the ranks. And I finally thought I had my dream job, which was senior vice president of private clients at a private bank. And I had ascertained a book of business in the sports, music, and entertainment sector. And I had, A-list celebrities as clients. And I thought, as they say, I was living a dream and on top of the world. So on a random Thursday, I went to work as usual, September 11th in 2011, and I had a lunch meeting with a sports agent to talk about transitioning his athletes over to the bank so I could be their banker, when I got a call from my boss to come in for a meeting. So I explained that, what my day looked like, and I said, I can't come in today, I'm coming tomorrow. And so she was very persistent. So at the end of the day, it was my boss's assistant. At that level, I reported to the president and CEO of the bank. So I called the agent and asked him if we could do dinner as opposed to lunch. I had to stop in the corporate for a meeting. And so when I get into the office, normally when I meet with my boss, I would meet with him in his office, right? But they brought me into the conference room. So I was like, okay, this is weird or whatever. But when I went into the conference room, I saw HR, I saw security. And I thought this was weird. I spoke to everyone, I sat down. And then the vice chairman of the bank came in and he said, hello, Michelle. And I said, hi, John. And he said, oh, I just stopped in to tell you that today is your last day with Signature Bank.
Wow.
And I said,
wow. Okay.
Excuse me? Like, I have a meeting. What are you talking about? And he said, I said, where's Joe, who's the president? And he said, oh, he's not coming in. I just came to let you know that, as I said, today's your last day. Anna is here, so that's HR. She'll go over your severance package with you,
Mm-hmm.
and, we wish you luck.
Hmm.
So, as they say, then SHIT got real, right? I was like, excuse me? So I said, well, what about my clients? Like, what about my staff? I'm confused. So he said, you and your clients are no longer welcome at Signature Bank. And another HR rep is in your office firing your whole team. Well, I was, you can imagine, like, I was confused. I didn't know, there was nothing to say. I was stuck on stupid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Shocked.
So I grabbed the envelopes and the stuff that was on the conference room table, grabbed my coat and walked outside. And by 2 o'clock, I was standing on Fifth Avenue, fired from what I thought was my dream job, that I spent 6.5 years at this particular institution, and I have close to 30 years at that time in banking.
Hmm.
So, as you could imagine, I felt like I was hit by a Mack truck.
Mm-hmm.
Everything just kind of went on a downward spiral, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after I kind of picked myself up a few days later, I thought, okay, well, I'll just get another job. And I called my mentors, and, I started the process. Everyone was shocked, just as I would. And guess what? I didn't get another job. It didn't happen to me, right?
Right.
So the bank actually blackballed me, and I spent like 9 months so depressed, so out of sorts, because I really like, working for a bank was really my identity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought. So I didn't know what to do. So I spent time with one of my mentors that I mentioned in this new anthology book that I just wrote.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Massachusetts. She's retired, and she met with me, and she would make me write down all of the things that I did for my clients outside of open a checking account or help them apply for a mortgage, like all of the
Mm-hmm. All the
day
services you provided to them. Yeah.
Yeah, and she said to me, Michelle, you know everybody, you did everything for everyone. This is not how your story ends. And it's so funny sitting here 13 years later that she actually spoke life into me, but I really didn't see it then.
Yeah.
And so she was mentoring me, but she was also like a psychologist,
Right. Right.
you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And then I also would meet with my pastor on a weekly basis, and he would come and speak life into me, and I could just really um be raw and cry and this
Mm-hmm.
and that. And I was like, well, I have to sell my house because I have to have a plan. I can't act like everything is okay. I'm a single mother. It's
Right.
like just a problem. And my pastor said to me, you're not going to sell your house. You're going to be fine. Just God's got a plan. So to bring it kind of to a close is what I did, what Doreen told me, which is my mentor,
Mm-hmm.
and wrote down all the people I work
Services.
with, the things I did on a daily basis.
Right.
And months after that, I got the courage to reach out to two of the clients, um, and request a meeting. So of course, when I did that, they're like, "Oh my God, you got a job. What bank are you going to next? My money's over there unprotected. I don't want my money there." And I used to, hear this on a regular basis because they would text me and say, "Did you get a job yet? Did this or that?" So
It's loyalty. Loyalty.
yes. And I said, well, no, I don't exactly, that's not what I want to talk to you about, but let me explain. So I had had both the
Mm-hmm.
meetings on the same day. And I gave them a proposal and said, well, I could still help you. I could still be your financial person, but I'm going to do this on my own. and for we'll discuss the 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 fee for my services, but I'll still be able to manage your money and coordinate all of your financial needs. And immediately within like 2 seconds, they both said yes. The meetings weren't at the same time, but they were in the same day. I went to the first meeting and then I went to the second meeting. And what that did was I remember driving home on the West Side Highway in total tears again, but it was like, thank you God, right? But it was a sense of release, like I couldn't believe it was that easy, because as I told you, like
Wow.
9 months had gone by.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, how could it have been that easy? How come I didn't know to do this before? But what I recognized in that moment was God needed to deal with me, right? And I needed to go through the process and to realize, obviously, that A, he is God, but B, that I needed to trust him.
Amen.
Right. And
Absolutely.
so I started working with, we call the first client 001 and the other client, and as their business manager. But then, because my resume was in the marketplace and with headhunters, 3 months after I started doing that, I got a call from a headhunter to interview to manage a bank that was coming from New England into downstate New York, and they needed a seasoned banker to start the bank de novo. So I had to deal with everything from construction to hiring the staff to, everything in between. So because of my mindset, that again, I still identified as working for a bank, right? I thought the bank was the secret sauce. And so I took the job, and I also kept the clients as, it was a side hustle.
Right.
And so I said, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do both, because again, I'm a single mother. So I'm used to getting a paycheck. I'm used to having a direct deposit, my health insurance, and all of that. And then the story continues. I took the job, and then in 2014, I went to see Oprah, and this is really when it changed. Oprah had a limited tour called Live Your Best Life. And she was in New York, she was in Atlanta, she was in a few places, but I missed her when she came to New York. When I found out about it, what the only available stop that was left, it was Miami and it was San Diego. So I went to Miami to the 3-day conference called Live Your Best Life. And that's when everything changed, because what I realized is that I was settling, that I was doing things that no longer served me. And the biggest thing in that, there were 3 things that I let go of, but the main thing was working in this other bank, because I realized that the best way that I could serve my clients and give them what I know they needed in the best way is to do it on my own and not do it for any institution. The institution wasn't the secret sauce. Michelle Richberg was. I'm the gift, not the bank.
Absolutely.
So
amen.
I quit my job, started Richburg as a one-woman show, opened up a small little office in downtown Manhattan, and the rest is kind of history. We're now, a full-fledged firm. 2025, this is our September, we'll be celebrating 10 years. Well, we are a, full-service firm of financial management, accounting, and taxes. My partner, Fabian, runs the tax department, and we have a full team. And thanks be to God, we're thriving, and I am living in my purpose.
What a journey. A couple points I want to highlight, though, is when your mentor spoke life into you and made you realize that the gifts and experience that you already accumulated on your own merit were your secret sauce. and that you needed to use them. And then when you got your clients, and what you did when you went and took the job at the other bank was what we're taught to do to survive. We're not taught to extend ourselves and take risks and take chances on ourselves. That comes naturally. That's got to be a passionate, personable thing to be one that pursues their dreams and visions aggressively. Most of us have to be pushed over there, and we have to be taught or learn from the school of hard knocks that I got to take a chance on me. And I get it because we're so accustomed to having you get a paycheck every 2 weeks. That's how you build your life around that. That's your income. That's your livelihood. However, when you got your pink slip, you turned it into something golden. You listened to your mentor, number one. Number two, you took a job because you're a single parent, responsible thing to do, but you soon recognized that you were selling yourself short. And so often we miss our value because we struggle to get to where we are. We lose sight. We have to grow with knowledge of who we are. As we grow and step into these different areas of life, our mindset, our value, our worth, all that changes. It has to elevate with us. And we're not taught to do that because it's arrogant. It's pride. Prideful. It's sarcastically, step into your territory. No, that's a bold, brave move for you to make on your journey of life. And if you value yourself enough to take chances on yourself, then you did that. So you pushed the envelope. You kept in touch with your clients. That's beautiful. Because as you were speaking, I thought about the glass ceiling in corporate America where I was when I got out of, as you were sharing your story, and I thought to myself, in corporate America, I realized that where I was in the banking industry, right? I was a high performing employee. So if I missed or took off a week or whatever, their numbers shifted and changed. So I was a valuable asset. So much so that when I wanted to grow my pursuit of going into a financial analyst, I was chastised by my manager in corporate because if I left that department, they would look bad. So I was written up for applying for another position within the same bank that I work for. And I thought we got an email that there was an opening. I thought anybody could apply. She goes, no, you cannot. So I realized then the barriers that are already set in place in corporate. And when you've gone to school, educated yourself, equipped yourself to do a job, then you are your own boss. But because we're taught you need a good job to make it in life, you stay and you put up with it. I did that. We did that back in the day. Nowadays, the younger generation does not do that, okay? They realize where they are and what the potential is and what value they bring to the table. We had value back then too, but we weren't as secure enough in ourselves to be that aggressive and say, okay, I'm going to leave this job and find another one. No, we looked for a job while we held on another job before we left, right? So the fact that your pink slip came, it pushed you out of your comfort zone, so to speak. It forced you to grow. And that to me sometimes is how God deals with us. We can be comfortable for so long. And I don't like using the word content because content means that when you're in a place here that you're comfortable and any little thing can interrupt your flow or break your monotony or whatever. So I like to be in, this is just me, my opinion, in a position where I can push myself and I can set little goals and make those goals. But when I'm challenged, it brings out more in me because over the years, when you're pushed and pushed and pushed by someone else, not yourself, you realize your worth because of your tenacity, your stick-to-itiveness that we grew up listening to our parents say, you got that stick-to-itiveness, you're going to stay on that job, honey, for 30 years. They don't do that anymore.
Right.
So I commend you for stepping out, reaching to your clients, and that loyalty that you have built with them paid off in your business. So I am excited about what you're doing and where your dark road took you, Michelle. And your story is amazing.
Thank you. It wasn't easy. It's still not easy because building a business, running a business, being an entrepreneur, being a Black woman, being in finance, like all of those things are still challenging, right? But like you recapped so I grew up by my grandparents raised me, right? And my grandmother, so the money conversation wasn't new to me. My grandmother had been talking to me about money since I can remember, since I'm 5, it started with allowance and then, her sharing how she saved money and then all of that. And by the way, my grandparents were domestic workers, right? So my grandmother was the cook and my grandfather was the chauffeur. Now they say chef and they say driver. So if you think about the movie The Help, that was my grandparents.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So on her domestic worker's salary, my grandmother bought 4 houses in cash in her lifetime.
Wow.
The one that we lived in where she raised me, and the rest were investment properties where her families lived, her sisters and her brothers, and they paid her rent. And so she was ahead of her time. So it was by God's design. I see it now that I'm in the career and spent all my adult life in finance, right? But so my grandmother was a fearless woman. She was a no-nonsense woman. She was and she only had a 9th grade education, by the way.
Wow.
Because she was sick as a child. So she couldn't go to school after 9th grade. But to your point about when I realized what I brought to the table and how I was raised, right? It went back to everything that my grandmother taught me and my grandfather taught me about. He would say to me, if you are a street sweeper, you better be the best damn street sweeper there is to take pride in what you do. But I lost that when I was fired on a random day, like with no warning, no, my performance review was stellar. And after the fact, I saw that it was very calculated and it really was just a money play and stuff by the bank. I also learned a lot because in New York and a lot of states, you're at
will state
matter.
They can fire you without an explanation. Exactly.
Right. So I needed to, even though I had pride in my job, I did my job in excellence. I was making tons of money for the bank, but I was looking at it the wrong way, like, because I was just looking at it as providing this service for this institution.
Right.
And even though by the time I got to Signature Bank, I had started to amass relationships and a portfolio of clients 3 banks before that, right? So all of those people and all of those relationships had followed me through the years to that bank in which I was fired. So when they let me go, it still wasn't a light bulb moment like, oh, I'll just be a business manager.
Yeah.
Like the people that I work with, it really took that time for me to realize that with my mentor, with my pastor, with my prayers, my tears. I mean, it was really, really a awful time. But again, one of my favorite scriptures is, for I know the plans that I have for you, it's to prosper you.
Amen.
And right. So I had to go through it in order.
Isn't that amazing? The word Jeremiah 29:11. It's a beautiful scripture. I love it. But your value, your worth, all of that over the span of your tenure with the banks paid off because you built a loyal base of clients, number one, that can still utilize your services. But also, too, for those that are going to be watching, isn't it amazing how in life we get the true value of what and who we are when we go through something that is destined on our pathway. In for example, we go through hardships. Everyone has hardships. A job layoff is huge. You've got to process that mentally. And what we're accustomed to doing because we were hustling so to make it, especially, single parent, divorced parent, you're on that hustle mode. But when I had this situation with my job while I was written up, it stressed me out. It started impacting my health, right? And she wanted me to sign an agreement that I wouldn't do that ever again, and I refused to sign it. I ended up quitting, because it was impacting my health. And we have to recognize, career-wise, personally, financially, whatever it is, that it all starts here. And when you're aligned with here and you see where your life is going, it could be dark as heck, and we're going to go through some dark times. We are. And the sooner we recognize that, the better off we're going to be in any quest for any pursuit of success we're trying to chase after dreams or whatever. You're going to have some dark days. The sooner you recognize that, it's hard. Even when you're teaching your children, look, that's from the school of hard knocks. You learn sooner or later, but you don't plan for the extra heartache that the world gives you. You don't plan for the extra things your job could give. You don't plan for that. But when it happens and you get past that pivotal moment, in hindsight, you look back. And the reason why her Success Unleashed is interviewing remarkable ladies like you is because people see the glitz and the glamour once you've made it. They see that you've accomplished this, but they didn't get to see the back road. They didn't get to see the pitfalls. They didn't get to see the dark days. So when you tell your story and show God's glory in all of this, soon to come, you will get those plans he knew he had for us in Jeremiah 29:11. We didn't see it. We had faith, but we couldn't see at the time that the door was shut, the pink slip came, the denial, you're written up. We didn't see all that when people get fired, lose their jobs. Even today, in today's current climate, people need some resolve. People need to know, where can I turn if this happened to me? Where can I go for resources? We have resources, but we get so caught up in life, in this cycle of life, we sometimes forget that we have resources. So, for example, your mentor reminded you, you've built relationships with clients. Look at that. Now, your clients get to align with you on your next quest on your journey, and that's the beauty of it. So I am enjoying listening to you, but I got to share something else. Listen to our audience. Michelle has been so busy building her business, y'all. She's been, these are some of her accolades, because she's a visionary and she makes it happen, right? In 2020 and through 2024, Billboard's top business manager. Yes, this lady. 2023, Billboard's Women in Music Award. Really? Girl, you all world. Okay. 2021 to 2022, hip hop and R&B power player list. You made that list? New Yorkers. Okay. 2024, Buddy White Project Community Service Award. Community service. We love to hear it. Faculty member of Warner Brothers Music? Faculty member?
So that is dismantled now.
Okay.
In 2021, Warner Music had a DEI, their first DEI group, and I was asked to be a faculty member of their inaugural DEI program. But it's
awesome.
since.
Well, we know what's going on with DEI right now in the current climate, but you made it, honey. You made it. And then 2024, New York State Senate proclamation, New York State Assembly citation, Office of Mayor, City of Mount Vernon, New York proclamation. Your impact extends beyond business. Michelle is a published author, a sought-after speaker, and has been honored with multiple government proclamations recognizing her contributions in financial empowerment in 2024. Y'all, I couldn't memorize all this, so I had to read it. There's so many, but I just wanted to say I'm so proud of this beautiful lady, this beautiful sister, because you didn't quit. You didn't stop. So now, because you kept going, you're able to share these amazing victories with the masses. So what's next on the agenda for you?
Thank you. Hearing all that stuff is like really surreal, because I often say to people is that I have currently, not in the past, but in the past and currently, I just have my head down and I'm doing the work. But as you say, God's vision for us and plans for us is bigger than what we could even dream of, right? And so I'm grateful for the opportunities, even like being here with you, to be able to share my story and, hopefully provide impact. So I got a vision from the Lord late last summer, about doing a financial conference. And what he said to me exactly is, tell the people. And I was like, tell the people what? Like, look. And he just said, tell the people. And Sharon T, when I tell you, like, he wouldn't let it wouldn't stop, it wouldn't go. And then September and October, I just began to get these downloads from him, right? Because we deal, as you know, where I'm in the entertainment space,
right?
And just in my everyday conversations, people they don't know what they don't know, and or they're struggling, and or their mindset isn't really aligned with them attaining their financial goals and dreams, right? There is a clear blueprint to building wealth. And because I see it and I do it every day for a living, that's why I guess he said to tell the people.
Wow.
So I got to work, and he gets all the praise, glory, and then some, that I was able to put together my first financial conference in less than 3 months.
Wow.
During the holiday season. It was last month, January 18th, called Beyond the Bag 2025 Master Your Money Financial and Wellness Summit. And even in this current state where we talk, you hit the nail on the head where you say people see the glory or they see the success and they see all the shine, but they don't see the work. They don't see you down in the weeds. They don't see you stressing and crying and pulling your hair out or trying to work with vendors. So that's real.
It absolutely is. It really and truly is.
Yeah, and also what I've come to know, and I see it too before it comes, is that when you are on a path to make real impact, right? The enemy is gonna come for you hard because they know that you're about to change people's lives.
That's right.
So, and when I was doing this in 3 months or less than 3 months, I got the vision. I found the location. I got the team. My team is like, whew, thank God for them. But there was still so much, struggle, so many things that had to get done. And I was,
dots that need to be connected.
Yes, but what I will tell you is the end result on January 18th of 2025, the impact in that 8 hours was beyond what I even expected. It was, I mean, people, I'm still getting testimonies of people taking action from what they learned that day.
Beautiful.
Their mindset shift.
Yes.
It was really incredible. So from that, which actually I backtracked really quickly and tell you. So we're in 2025. So about a year ago this time, maybe it was like March or April, I started to work on a course, right?
Right.
And a financial course, a blueprint to building wealth.
Yes.
And I started the work on the course before I knew anything about God telling me to do a conference and put it into the world and host like a conference. This is the first time I did anything like this. So
that's
it was all, God is very intentional.
Yes.
Right. And I know that now, and even like me talking to you, and I've talked to a few other people, and I'm stretching myself and I'm being uncomfortable, but I know I'm following what he's telling me to do, right? And there's a me to do that. So it wasn't an accident that I started to work on the course before then, because he knew he was going to have me do this conference. So what I'm working on now is my business.
Yeah.
We're in tax season.
Yes.
But I have a course soon coming. It's probably be available on the platforms.
Okay.
In April, called Beyond the Bag.
Beyond the Bag. I love it. We won't forget that one. We're going to look out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Beyond the Bag. I love it.
And it's 6 modules of, I take you step by step of things that you need to do to build wealth. And I will be, meeting with the community, once a month to help them through and ask questions and so on and so forth.
Congrats.
And then I just got the actual copies of the second book that I co-wrote with my coach, actually, Andy Henriquez. It's called Chasing 100. And it's to your point where you were talking about not being complacent and pushing ourselves and going to the next level. So when I got the opportunity, I realized that all my life I've been chasing 100, right?
Wow.
Because I'm never satisfied with just coasting. I thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when I got the revelation, when I went to see Oprah, the rest,
Is history.
it,
Wow. Michelle, you are a woman that doesn't sit on her laurels or doubts. You just move, and I love that. And I want to share something since we're on the subject of moving and chasing 100. If you have a vision of anything, whatever it is, you don't know if it's going to come to fruition if you don't pursue it. And I say every day, there's a book called Command Your Morning, I think, by Cindy Trim, a very favorite book of mine, and it was very instrumental in my healing journey after my divorce, and it taught me how to deal with. At the time, I was dealing with a sick child and a divorce a lot, and working because we had to maintain insurance. I had to maintain insurance to take care of my child. But commanding your day challenged me. I growing up when raising my daughter, I never allowed her to use the word hate or can't because it fixates your mind and your thought process. If you hate something, you don't gotta vocalize it, just change it. If you think you can't do something, push yourself and you can do it. It's up to you. Everything's up to you. So I find that in life when people hear your story or stories of people that have gone and pushed the envelope, even past or beyond hardships, that it's doable and that your tenacity is to continue to excel and share and give to people. And that's where our blessings come. The resources that you have, you're willing to share. Now, everything comes at a cost. We know that. So to me, my philosophy is you invest in yourself at the level you want a return. So if you're willing to invest in yourself and move for yourself, then you're on to something. You're a winner, and we want to celebrate you. Michelle, I can talk to you all day, and I told you that on the phone. We're gonna be doing girl side chat, but we can talk all day. But the most important thing I want to say here is that you are a woman of intentionality. You're a successful woman that's leading, and so other women are watching you. Other women are looking at you, saying, "How can I do that?" Or "I admire her." And long gone are the days saying, I wonder how she did or whatever. That's why we have this platform. We're showing you, we're telling you. And so anyone that wants to find out, for example, pick up one of your workbook that's coming out, pick up your book. So tell us how we can find you, the social media platforms and outlets we can reach or get a hold of Michelle.
thank you again. I don't know if I could say thank you enough. It doesn't seem adequate. But I'm on all the socials. So I'm on Instagram at the Michelle Richberg, where I'm talking about all the money stuff. I'm LinkedIn, Michelle Amos Richburg, and most importantly, our website, because the website is where you can purchase the book.
Mm-hmm.
The website is www.richburg, which is RICHBURG, Richburg Enterprises LLC.com. And you can also, I have on there a free download, which is the Rich Guide Journal and Planner to financial
I
resources.
love it. I love
So
it.
you can there's
Go to
a
your
lot of mindset stuff in there and
Mm-hmm.
thought-provoking questions to help you, because when you know your why, it's going to help you create the discipline that you need
Absolutely.
for your financial freedom.
That is so key. The why. That's what led. As a matter of fact, it's okay to revisit your why seasonally. I do, because it's what leads to your next level in your growth stage. If you don't
Yeah.
go back and revisit your why, especially when you feel stuck, on certain days you feel stuck, remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. And that's why I'm here and why you're here and why we're doing it, because you have valuable services that people need and people want to build themselves up to a place where I can, in my personal life, in my wealth, my finances, whatever they can do, hopefully they can be blessed with the knowledge that you've shared with us on your website. I love the fact that you have the free guide there. So we will provide the web address and the links in the link for the guests when they view this. And again, I want to say I'm deeply grateful for you taking the time out of your day today to spend here with us at Her Success Unleashed. Continued success in your endeavors. And I will be at your next financial outlet, because I think I saw one you went to in Florida last fall. That one was beautiful too. So it's a lot of fun being had out here in these streets, and we want to share the goodness. So I appreciate you so much, my sister, and I love you. Take care. And when I come to New York, we're gonna do it up, girl. Okay? That's my second favorite city in the world. So someone asked the other day, what's your top favorite? I said Paris, France. Anywho. Thank you so much again. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful day, and we'll talk soon. God bless.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.